The GR Corolla. It's probably one of the funnest cars I've ever driven. However, today we're going to be talking about one of the biggest issues when it comes to handling, and that is understeer. But before we dive into it, we're going to be talking about the three handling states, and that is understeer, oversteer, and neutral steer. We're also going to be talking about the reason why the GR Corolla inherently understeers, especially from factory. And then I'm going to be talking about what mods I'm going to be doing to fix the understeer. Now, the reason why I want to touch upon these categories is because in order for us to fix what's wrong, we have to understand what's wrong. Now, if you guys have been following me for a while, you guys may know that I've mentioned that I'm pretty much at the tail end of my current mods, especially suspension with the GR Corolla. Now, I currently have a one-way coilover from Annex Suspension, and it has been great. I have a 6K front, 9K rear spring rate, and it has been great when it comes to a hybrid street setup and track setup. It's gotten me to become one of the fastest GR Corollas here in the Southern California area, and I've been completely happy with it. But I'm at the point where I've pretty much outgrown it, and I'm going to be moving on to something else, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit later in this video. So this video also will be serving as part one of a series of videos where I will be upgrading the GR Corolla, especially from the handling aspect, to be able to push for better goals or higher achieving goals at the local tracks here in Southern California. Alrighty, so I'm going to be using this GR Corolla to demonstrate the three states of steering. Now the first one is understeer. Understeer is basically when a car approaches a corner, and the more you turn your steering wheel, the less the car wants to turn. And that means that the two front tires are losing grip, and you will basically keep on going straight and fly off the track. Now, oversteer is the opposite of that, and you can guess it, is when the car approaches a turn, the rear two tires loses grip before the front two, and it sends the tail around you, and you generally will spin out or do a drift. Now, a lot of people like that feeling of oversteer because it gets the car to rotate or pivot around a corner. But however, if you oversteer it too much, you most likely will spin out, and it's much harder to control. Now, neutral steer is the last state, and it's a phenomena where the car is approaching a corner and it's neither understeering nor oversteering around a corner, and it does this semi-slight drift where it's utilizing the slip angle of both front and rear tires to get around a corner in perfect harmony. Now, this neutral steer is an indicator that you are driving at the limit of the car and the tire, and you are and that is the fastest way around a corner. Now, I hope that demonstration helps you understand the differences between understeer, oversteer, and neutral steer. Now, so when people say that the car handles like it's on rails, I want you to understand that it is good for just the street setup, but in a track or a race condition, driving like you're on rails just basically means you're driving way below the limit and you have more that you can extract out of the car to get around the corner. In fact, you want to be on the limit. You don't want to be under the limit, and that's when you feel like you're on rails. When you're on the limit, you're in this fine line of being over the limit and about to lose control of the car, and being under the limit where you're just going too slow for what the car is capable of. So now I'm going to be talking about why the GR Corolla terminally understeers, especially from factory. Now, the GR Corolla, as we all know, is a rally-bred car. It basically shares the same DNA as the GR Yaris, which has been dominating for the last several years in the rally campaigns all over the world. Now, it shares the same DNA as the Lancer Evolution, as well as the Subaru WRX STI. Those cars, as well as the GR Corolla and GR Yaris, all have a 60-40 weight distribution, meaning 60% of the weight is in the front and 40% of the weight is in the rear. Now this makes sense for rally cars because when they're driving on loose terrain such as dirt, snow, gravel, whatever it is, now it allows the drivers to get on the brakes and shift all the weight of the car to the front, which is already front heavy, and allows the car to stop because of all the traction and the tires being loaded up in the front, which allows the driver to be able to pendulum the car around the corner because of the weight being shifted all the way to the front. And being on loose gravel, it makes it much easier for them to get around a corner that way. The biggest benefit that it has over loose terrains is actually the biggest drawback that it has on tarmac situations such as grip driving. And the reason being is that all the weight is actually in the front. And being that this car is a front wheel drive bias all-wheel drive system, whenever you're on the brakes, all the weight gets shifted to the front and you're using a lot of your tires, your brakes, the weight, just getting around the corner, it overloads the tires. Especially when you're turning around the corner and all that weight is shifted to the front, you're just gonna be overloading the outside shoulder of the tires. And if you notice, especially the avid track guys, that the outside tires just wear down so much faster than the inside of the tires on these cars. And that's because all the weight gets pushed into the front and you're just overdriving and overworking the front tires of this car. Now, naturally, you can potentially just add more camber to the front, but I found that, you know, I've ran 3.2 degrees of camber in the front of this car as well as 4 degrees, and it's all the same results. So in order for us to solve this problem, I'm going to be doing some mods or upgrades in the next few videos, but I'm going to be sharing some of those with you right now so you understand what's to come. Okay, the next set of mods are actually fairly affordable, so you can also do it, and I am just getting around to it. The first one is actually the rear sway bar, right here. I actually got the rear sway bar from Whiteline suspension. And one of the reasons why I got the rear sway bar from Whiteline is because it's the same diameter as OEM. And that's pretty much it. It's basically a solid bar comparatively to that as the OEM's hollow bar. So it is so much thicker. And you yourself can do it as well. It's fairly affordable. And I believe it's going to be one of the biggest performance improvement in terms of handling for this car. Now, some people are probably going to be wondering, well, why not get the front ones? I don't think the front ones is actually very beneficial for this car, especially for the regular road, for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that if you want a stiffer front, that means the front tires will generally lose grip first. And as I mentioned earlier in my demonstration on understeer, the front losing grip first means that you will add more understeer with a front bar. And the rear bar essentially makes it so that the rear is stiffer, so you will technically lose grip first in the rear, so that will induce oversteer, therefore neutralizing the inherent understeer nature of this car. And the second point is that the front bar is actually a kind of a pain in the ass to get installed because you have to drop the subframe and all that fun stuff. And honestly, I don't think the juice is really worth the squeeze. And the second mod that's actually fairly cheap and not a lot of people talk about is the Whiteline caster bushings. Now, these bushings are actually, as you can notice, it's a little bit offset, adds more positive caster to the front suspension, especially when you're lowering it. This allows for more dynamic camber, especially when you're going around a corner. That dynamic camber actually helps with the outside tire wear that I had mentioned earlier. Now, this also has these spacers that you can put on the top or the bottom, which reduces potential anti-front lift or anti-front dive. And front dive meaning the car just pitches forward a lot, or when you're on the throttle, it pitches back too much. And that also leads me to my next thing that I'm going to be talking about. So for the 2023 and 2024, we did not have an updated rear trailing arm mount. Now the 2025 and 2026, you guys don't have to really worry about this because you guys come with this OEM trailing mount. And you're probably wondering, well, what is this, right? Well, I mean, if some of you guys know, this actually mounts the rear trailing arm a little bit higher, a higher position, which reduces squat in the car, especially when you're on acceleration. I noticed that in pictures that my car squats a lot in the rear because when I'm on the throttle, the rear just pitches back a little bit more, and it could be a combination of a couple of things. The first thing might be because of the rear springs might be too soft, or because the car has this inherent nature to squat. So that's why Toyota probably knew about it, and so they made this update. So I'm going to be updating it to this, and it should be pretty straightforward. The repositioning of the trailing arm should allow the car to not have that squatting nature. That squatting nature is actually not a good thing for a car that's already prone to understeer, because when the car squats, a lot of the weight gets shifted to the back and not enough weight is still in the front or is balanced in the front. So that also increases the chance of understeer as well, especially when you're on corner exit and you're jumping back on the throttle. Okay, so the last piece that I'm going to be doing when it comes to suspension is my coilovers. I think a lot of you guys who have been following me kind of reached to a point where I've outgrown my current coilover setup. And like I said, they're great. It's just that if I want to get faster, I feel like I need to update it. I ended up going with a company called MCS. I think it's Motion Control Systems or something. Anyways, but I believe that, you know, the BMW guys, a lot of the track guys run this brand, and they've been great. I have another friend that runs them and he loves them. I particularly went with the true coilover setup. So the rear setup looks like this. What I just showed you was the front. And the difference between a true coilover versus a divorce setup is that the spring isn't part of the shock. Now, this completely eliminates the need of a spring bucket that you see on the OEM cars. So because I'm eliminating that spring bucket, I have this rear lower control arm from SPL that I'm going to be using. Now, I don't think SPL sells this. So this is a one-off part that I bought from another GR Corolla owner. His name is Jeff. His company is called Delta X. He makes some really awesome stuff, so check him out. But yeah, like, this is a one-off stuff. I don't see them offering it, at least from my understanding. However, on my store, I do offer other SPL products, and I've ran SPL on many of my other cars, and they make some great products. So yeah, this will replace the rear spring bucket, and because I don't need it. But yeah, so gonna be doing the coilover overhaul. Now, I won't be able to do it in this video. However, stay tuned for the next one. Everything that you see in my video, you know, I pay for. I'm not sponsored by anyone, but I will try to give you my honest review on any products that I use and the reason why I'm using them. But like I said, I opened up the store, and I'll leave a link to the description below. If you guys are interested in any of the parts here, go ahead and click down below and see that. Now, for the coilovers, I don't offer MCS. However, there are other applications that are good or comparable. So check out my website, see if there's anything on there that makes sense for you. I think another coilover setup is Annex Suspension. I think their Club Sport is kind of on the same echelon of performance, as well as Moton/AST. They offer a true coilover setup as well, so you guys might want to check those out. I also have KWs. I also have let me see, Owens on the website. So if you guys see anything that you guys like, give my website a shot. Hopefully I'll be able to provide more products in the future. I'm also developing some products as well to provide to you guys, but it's going to take a little bit of time. If you guys have sat around this long, thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.